Right, we are live again. So I'm Alison Jones, I'm Director of Practical Inspiration Publishing, and joyfully I am interviewing the authors of all of the 18 Practical Inspiration titles that were shortlisted for this year's Business Book Awards. Just if you've been under a stone and you haven't seen any of these yet. And today I'm with Berit Lewis, who is the author of Aging Upwards, a mindfulness-based framework for the longevity revolution. I have to admit, a personal stake in this book, obviously, as a woman of a certain age. So welcome, Vera. It's lovely to be talking to you today.
It's fabulous to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it's. I mean, I think everybody will be like, I think I know why she wrote this book, but just tell us why did you write this book?
Well, so I've been teaching mindfulness for many years, and to people to deal with the challenges of life, stress, burnout, and then personal investment in it. Of course, I hit 50 myself, and I started to have a lot of thoughts about what does it take to have a good life on the other side of 50, and this was happening during COVID. So I actually ended up going back to university, and I did a master in vitality and aging. And I found two things when I was doing the study. One of them was that there's so much written about how to avoid our age, how to avoid being older, and not much written about how to cope with the challenges that will come when we age, and how to make sure that we continue to have contributing, purposeful, happy lives once we hit 50. And then on the other hand, which is related to it, is that there's this narrative in societies that says that old is bad, young is good, and there's this trying to avoid becoming older, this negative thing about that everything that's on the other side of 50 is bad and it's negative and it's all about decline. So I ended up doing a course, online course in mindfulness-based vitality and aging, and do some research into it as well. And what I found is that we have this skill within us that can help us cope with the challenges and also see a more nuanced picture of what it means to be older. So it's not all about decline. There's actually a lot of things that happens to us that it's positive. Like for once, we actually start to get more happy and we don't let ourselves get caught up in all the negative things. We actually get a bit more emotionally intelligent and we start to use our experience and our ability to see patterns. So it's not such a one-sided view of what it means to be older. So that's why I wrote the book, because the research came back with a very positive feedback saying that you can do a lot yourself to make sure that you don't become so limited by this ageist narrative that exists in our society.
Yeah, and which we almost take on board without noticing it. It's such a deep assumption, isn't it? I just remember being blown away when I was reading your book and that research about 80s being the sort of happiest people in their 80s are the sort of the happiest. I thought, oh, wow, it's such a hopeful, positive message. So yeah, thank you for writing it. Honestly, personally, why does it matter, Berit? Why is this so important? And I think this ties into the longevity revolution piece, doesn't it?
Exactly. Because, well, there's both the individual perspective. Of course, we don't want that ageist to be limiting us. That if we truly believe in it, as you say, we all adhere to it. We're all ageist because this is the way we've grown up to believe it's like to be older, and we all have this fear. It's all about decline, and there's so many challenges. So we need to reevaluate that, and that's very important for each of us as individuals. But as a society, it's also very important because the world is changing rapidly. Like, we're all getting older, we live for longer. Not all of those years in good health, but we're seeing a positive development there as well. And at the same time, fertility rate is going down. So the workforce is changing. So it's this creeping thing that's happening, and a lot of us are not really aware of this complete change of work environment that will be happening, because it's 4 generations that all of a sudden has to work together. And this old look at where we sort of try to distinguish our skills and our traits according to our generation, we have to switch that around and see beyond the age as a limiting factor, or as something that describes who we are. We're so much more than our age, and that that's very important that we start to look at that and re-evaluate. And I also think that this longevity is it can be a catalyst for how we live our lives. So it's not just about those extra years that's put on at the end of our lives. It's really to start seeing, okay, so we used to think that there is like this 3-phase life. There is the learning, then we work like crazy, and then we can finally relax when we retire. But maybe we can look at it different, so that maybe we take some time to rest in the middle of it, maybe to go back to university, maybe learn some more as we're going. And then at the other end, maybe not have that sharp edge and say, right from one day to another, you're retired and all of a sudden you're not part of working society anymore. But maybe we can do something more gradually and mix them up a bit. And that way actually maybe be able to work for longer and not burn out and not be stressed and yeah, have a better life throughout life.
Yeah, it's such a hopeful vision. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And you're shortlisted in the international book category because, well, just tell me, because you have got such an extraordinary mix of sort of nationalities and where you've lived and so on, which I just think is fascinating.
Oh yeah, so I'm Danish, but at the moment I live in the Netherlands. I'm married to a Welsh man, and my children go to American international schools, and I've also lived in Australia for 10 years. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix.
I sort of feel that there should be another category of sort of super international for which you would qualify. Brilliant. And Berit, you weren't in the room in London when the shortlist was announced. So tell me, how did you find out and what was your reaction?
Yeah, I was trying to get onto the live stream and it didn't work. So I was just waiting for the recording. And then I was actually the last, well, it was international books, which is the last category. And the last name being mentioned in that. So I was so excited. And I didn't actually expect it. But, you know, first time author, I'm so thrilled that I'm amongst these honored, fabulous authors up there. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. And I'm also excited because it's a subject that doesn't usually get a lot of attention. So I really hope that this might be something that can raise the subject and maybe do some more research, because there's really a research and literature gap in how to deal with aging. I think there is. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's very noble of you. I'd have just been dancing around the room rather than thinking about the potential for the future. But I'm so delighted that you were there. It's hilarious that you were the last name in the last category. My goodness, what nail-biting stuff. And yes, every success for the 19th of September. But in the meantime, congratulations. If you like the sound of this, you must, seriously, if you don't like the sound of this, you must be, I don't know, not listening. But it's 99 pence or 99 cents on the Kindle store until the 19th of September, which is the awards evening. All 18 of our shortlisted titles are. So yeah, you be the judge. But thank you so much, Berit, for your time today. It's been really, really good to talk to you.
Same. Looking forward to seeing you on the 19th.
Yeah.